Don't keep losing out on multiple offer situation on houses. Stay tuned and I'm going to give you tips that you need to know that can get you that house you want. And there's one tip that I will give you that has won my clients' homes when we weren't even the highest offer. Let's do it. Jonathan McCoy here with Keller Williams Realty, Chattahoochee North, and we are talking about winning multiple offer situations. There are a lot of tried and true tips when it comes to winning multiple offer situations on a home. Now, of course, we all know that if you offer more money than everyone else, then you have a great chance to win a house. But it's not always about the money. While you still need to make sure you have a competitive offer with your offered price, there are plenty of other things you can do to win. Let's start with talking with the listing agent about their seller. Have your buyer's agent talk with the other agent about what's important to their seller. Maybe closing date is very important. They may want to have a quick close, or maybe they need time to find a new home and move out. Find out what the perfect closing date would be for them and put it in your offer. Find out if the seller is not wanting to do anything to the house, or maybe they want to make sure there are no special stipulations in the contract. These details can be very important. There is another way to use the conversation with the listing agent that I'll share in a bit. Next thing you can do is get pre-approved with a lender. The term pre-approved gets thrown around too often and people use it incorrectly. Typically, buyers get pre-qualified with a lender, meaning they do about the minimum amount of work that's needed on the front end to make sure that a buyer can buy a house. Pre-approved is when you go ahead and go through the underwriting process before you even have a house to buy. This can do a number of things for you as a buyer. It can give you peace of mind that you will definitely qualify to buy a home, and it can shorten the time it takes once you get under contract. You need to talk with your lender about what I'm about to say, but if you have a great lender and have actually been pre-approved, then you can possibly do the following. Do a very short or no financing contingency. If you have already been pre-approved and through underwriting, then you may not need this financing contingency because you've already been qualified. This doesn't have to do with the pre-qualifying, but I know some lenders and appraisers that can do appraisals quickly. With that said, you can possibly do an offer with 0 days for the appraisal contingency. You can possibly do this in one of two ways. First, it is possible for very qualified buyers with some lenders to waive the appraisal contingency. This is on a case-by-case basis and you'll need to talk with your lender. The other way, and this is for states that have due diligence periods, is that you do the appraisal during the due diligence period. If you can go ahead and order your appraisal, have it done and back before the end of due diligence, then you can put 0 days in for the appraisal contingency. If the property doesn't appraise, then you can just break contract during your due diligence period. If you decide to do 0 days appraisal contingency, then this next tip can be tricky, and that's a short due diligence period. Once again, talk with your lender about the appraisal to see how quickly that it can be done and back to you. As for the due diligence, while I typically like 10 days, it can be done in 5 to 7 days or less. On to Earnest Money. You want to show a seller that you are really serious about their home. Instead of the often seen 1% of the purchase price in earnest money, which for a $400,000 home, we would see usually $4,000, how about you put down $20,000? If you are getting a 5, 10, 15% down loan or more, then you should have that money available to put down a higher amount for earnest money. As long as you do everything that you are supposed to do in the contract, this money will just go towards your closing cost. In addition, there is something called option money that you can put in the contract as well. This money is more at risk than the earnest money, so talk with your agent about what this is and how it can be used. Finally, let's go back to information gathered. While looking at the home or After your agent has talked with the listing agent, you need to write a letter with your offer. You need to let the seller know who you are and why you want to buy their home. In addition, finding out information about the seller can help. If the seller really wants to sell to a family, then that is information you can use to put in your letter. If the seller has a certain career, like being a teacher, and you're a teacher, mention that. I have had multiple buyers win offers because of their letters, and there have been many times we have not been the highest offer in terms of the sales price. I have had a seller tell us at closing that our offer was $7,500 less than the highest offer, but they liked the letter so much that they chose our offer. I've also had another agent come to tell me that the seller really likes the letter and the offer, but we weren't the highest in terms of sales price. Would we be willing to come up to the amount of the highest offer they received? That at least gave my buyers a chance to win the house. Whether we are in times of multiple offers everywhere or we're in a buyer's market, these tips can be used mightily and in powerful ways to win a multiple offer situation. But just remember, with great power comes great responsibility. If this video was helpful, you should watch one of these videos about buying a home. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I post videos every Thursday. Thanks, and I will see you next time.